Wendy, the recording is in process. Wendy,
Yep.
we just got done watching week 2. It is officially Wednesday, September 6th. We're going to do this thing real quick. We're going to do a review of week 1. It's the long weekend of college football. It's college football from Thursday to Monday. Wendy, the range of emotion of things that happen, we're going to try to keep this at around 10 minutes. We're going to blast through this thing, and then we're going to do another one for the weekend coming up. Wendy, I sat around and watched football all weekend.
That's what I did.
So, you had to really be picky and choosy about which games. There was only a handful of games that was worth watching. But Wendy, Saturday morning, let's do this. Let's just go ahead and get Florida out of the way. Florida is still the Florida-Utah game. Florida is still submerged. They did not get up out of the water, it appeared.
Nope.
And Billy Napier better get his team balled into something else. Either he's going to have to figure out a way to change his team up a little bit, or he's going to have to change a little bit and kind of mold himself into the team that he has or the players that he has. It does not seem like he can mold his players into his little mold that he's wanting to do. Wendy, what's wrong with Florida?
I think Florida's been kind of going on a downward spiral since the shoe throw incident. That's when I really kind of saw it go down a little bit. Listen, I'm with you. Napier's either got to get them on his board or he's got to get on their board. I don't know. Nothing seemed to gel at all for me with that game. And let me say this: Utah looked really good. Like, I don't want to take away from Utah. Utah looked really good to me. I thought they were the better team on the field for sure.
Yeah, they were the better
players,
team.
better team, better coach.
Yeah, and you just assume Florida's going to come out. There were some athletes. Florida just did not look like they had it all together. Utah pretty much beat them physically all the way through. Score really wasn't as bad as the game was.
Right.
And that's that. We'll get back to more. Now, here's the biggest story of the weekend, and it's prime time.
Yes, Trey, this guy.
Prime time Deion Sanders. This guy is a master.
Yep.
He's a master marketer, talker.
Yep.
And Wendy, when you can magnify it with going on your first game playing TCU, a team that was in the national championship game last year, and one of the first games people see is his son, the quarterback, the receiver, Hunter, go out and beat TCU. Wendy, I watched the game. I was enthralled in the game. Tell me your thoughts on prime time.
Best game of the week, in my opinion, best game of the week. Here's the deal. This guy talks a lot, but he backed it up on Saturday, in my opinion. He's been running his mouth. And a lot of people, like Mommy B's era people, they don't like it. Like, I bet if you called Aunt Julie and Mom, they wanted TCU to win. Here's the thing about somebody like Deion Sanders, though. Like, I get on board with Deion. Like, I'm an Alabama/Colorado fan now. Like, he's got me so hyped for Colorado. You see what I'm saying? But here's the only thing. TCU really didn't have a defense. It'll be interesting to see when they play a team with better defense that's actually getting after the quarterback. You see what I'm saying? Can they play the same game against a Georgia defense, an Alabama defense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And to me, with these boring games, and I don't care what they are, we went to the Alabama Middle Tennessee State game. That's great. It was great, but it was not a contest. It's boring to me. I mean, I enjoy watching the team play, but it's boring to me. Well, now you have Colorado playing TCU, pure entertainment. I mean, I was entertained for 3.5 hours. That is what I want, is entertainment. The one thing that Colorado has got to do now, and it's probably going to be harder now. Now there's tape. Now there's teams that can see tendencies. There's teams that can really hone in on what they're doing and what they're not doing. So the quote unquote, the cat's out of the bag. Wendy, they've got to play Nebraska this week. Primetime is a genius. You look at his post-game interview, Wendy, on YouTube, it's got like 1.7 million views. I mean, Nick Saban's post-game interviews has 20,000 views. So the guy's pretty much a genius. Wendy, we will move on. Boring SEC schedule.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just boring. We'll get down to some other games. Tennessee ends up winning. Tennessee beats Virginia in really a no contest. Tennessee looks like they're all. Let me tell you something about Tennessee. If you're not out there ready to play football, they're about to drill you.
I agree.
They will drill you. They'll put up 60 points, and they'll get on the bus, and they'll head out. That is what Tennessee will do.
So I'm going to apologize because I talked a little trash last week, but Tennessee, you are the real deal. I'll give you that. Your defense looked off the chain. Tennessee's defense, Trey, looked electric. And, my big worry on them was their lines. Was their lines going to be able to handle this type of talent this kid has? Think about the 2 balls that got dropped that weren't the quarterback's fault. They were the receiver's drops. There's 2 more touchdowns there.
Yeah.
So, Tennessee, they're the real deal. They've got this hurry up offense. So you've got these kids, they're they're ready to go. So they're conditioned for this hurry up stuff that he's doing. Trey, Tennessee looks good. Tennessee looks real good.
Yeah,
they were the biggest
fans,
surprise for me. Biggest surprise.
Yeah, but we don't know how good Virginia is. But the point of it is Tennessee went out there and took care of business. You're not seeing them play down to the competition and all this other stuff. They're going to go out there and do what they do. And Tennessee fans, hey, get ready. It looks like it's going to be another fun year. You're going to be in every game that you play.
Yep.
And I will say one thing about the Tennessee game. If there's any Tennessee fans or people that watch that game, I don't know what they did at that Nissan Stadium to that field. But that field looked like AstroTurf, and I know it's natural grass, but Wendy, I'm sitting there, and this thing is popping. It's neon green. So congratulations to Neon Stadium, the Titan Stadium. The field looked like it was prime perfecto.
Right, ready to go.
All right, Wendy, we're going to bust down this. Wendy, we get down to the Auburn football Tigers. Auburn finally looks like Auburn again.
They look like a team. Yep.
At least Freeze. At least they're going to be fun to watch. Wendy, Auburn comes out and does what they need to do. Their schedule gets a little bit harder, but Wendy, the whiteout was on, the freeze out was on. Auburn people are pumped up, and the economy's going to go up in Auburn this year.
Listen, it was a fun game to watch. I love the Auburn Stadium. It's one of the prettiest stadiums that I've seen. I love it when they do their whiteout. And I've always said Auburn fans show up. You can have a season where you've won 2 games and that place is still going to be packed out. I've always given the Auburn fans, man, they are loyal fan base. And honestly, they deserve a good coach. Is it going to be Hugh Freeze? It might be. Not real sure they're going to win them all. I don't know if they're going to have some stellar season, but they looked better than they've looked in 2 years on opening day.
Wendy, we'll get back to Freeze because he had something interesting that I'm not sure I really like, but I might be looking at it too much. All right, Wendy, let's get to LSU, FSU. Wendy, Sunday night. It was Sunday night. LSU, FSU was the primetime game. LSU, FSU, they come out. Wendy, these are stud athletes. These people are banging it out. I'm talking about
physical
pay attention
game.
to what you're doing. You're about to get blasted.
Yep.
LSU comes out, they're up 17-14 and a half. Florida State comes out, and Florida State ends up blowing them out in the second half, and I think beating them by 28, 21 points, something like that. And when in a game that everybody says LSU quit at the end of the game, if you watch the game, and I was talking to somebody the other day, I don't know if LSU quit or if LSU just ran out of gas. I don't know if those are 2 different things. But it's like it looked like LSU ran out of gas, and everyone's like, "Well, they quit." Well, sometimes you quit because you run out of gas. Now, however you want to frame it or whatever it is, LSU, Florida State was in better shape. Florida State played 60 minutes, and Brian Kelly better get his team ready to go, or this could go downhill fast.
So I'm going to make it this year's prediction. I predicted with Harsin over at Auburn before anybody else did. I don't think the guy makes it through the season. Couple reasons. I don't think his personality goes with LSU, Trey. Let me tell you something. That LSU Florida State game was the most physical game I saw all weekend. I'm talking, these kids were knocking each other's heads off. It was to me, entertainment is when both teams are playing lights out. Both these teams played lights out. I'm like you. I think they ran out of gas at the end. I don't really think they gave up. I think it was more of a conditioning issue. But let me tell you something. Florida State looks good for the first time in 150 years. 150 years. And I don't think LSU was. I never thought LSU was going to be that good this year anyway. Me personally.
Well, they have their quarterback back, and they've got athletes. They were really missing the defensive lineman. LSU was that didn't get to play. So Brian Kelly's got to get his team back. Wendy, Brian Kelly's going to be the coach there all year. Let's don't. I mean,
we'll
come
see.
on now.
You said the same thing about Auburn.
Okay, Wendy, another huge game, and then we're going to finish this up. Another huge game was the Duke-Clemson game. Duke-Clemson comes on Monday night. Everybody's thinking, let's see what Clemson's got. Might be a good game in the first half. Clemson runs away with it late. Wendy, it was exactly the opposite. Clemson called a break early in the game with Duke fumbling inside the 10-yard line. They go in the score. I think it's 7-6 Clemson at half. You're ready for Clemson to take over. Wendy, Clemson keeps driving the football, and they keep fumbling the football inside the 5 or 10-yard line.
Yep.
And I will say this, I thought Duke played great. I thought Duke deserved to win that game. It was not a fluke. I mean, Duke's defense played great. Now, I don't know how good Clemson's offense is. They're supposed to be better. I don't know that they are. But Duke played great, wins the game, storms the field, and Dabo Swinney, once again, with these early season losses, has got to get control of his team and figure it out pretty quick. Wendy, what's up?
So, we know Dabo, so I feel kind of bad. But, Trey, I think the era of Dabo might be over, babe. But here's the deal. The guy won't come off this transfer stuff. He won't come off this NIL. He doesn't want to move forward with what's going on, okay? Nick Saban can get set in his ways. But eventually Nick Saban's like, this is where it's going. I've got to work around it. The thing about Clemson, if you look at – I think they've only won – 4 of their last 7 games. Some of them they've lost really bad. So it's not like we're just looking at this one game. If you look at the end of their season last year, Clemson's been going down for 2 years, in my opinion. And if the guy's not going to get on board with the way college football's going, I'm not so sure how long he's going to be there. Like, they look like trash. Trey, they missed two. Did they have 2 field goals blocked?
Yeah, they had one block. The other kicked the other one low. I don't know. It might have been blocked, but they had field goal issues for sure, Whitty. And I think you make a good point. But understand this: all this recruiting, you can recruit all these people you want to. Every year it's a new team. You don't know if these players are going to hit or not. And what I mean by hitting is you can recruit a 4- and 5-star athlete. You don't know what's going to happen when the lights turn on. You don't know what, and that's what they got to figure out. And it's harder. It's easier said than done. I think Clemson will be fine. He's got a good program, and he'll make some changes. I'm sure he will. But it was just kind of a shocking loss, and Duke just
looked so bad to me, Trey. I think I saw a stat. Nobody quote me. I don't come for me in the comments. But Duke had 4 stars, and Clemson had 34 or 44 and 5 stars.
Yeah.
Only
I'm just saying,
when you're saying about talent, I can see if it was more even, but logistically, Clemson's more talented. Not logistically. Wrong word. Wrong. I shouldn't ever try to use big words. I try to use them sometimes so I look smart.
I knew what you meant. It sounded good to me. That's perfect, Wendy. And we're gonna wrap this thing up. Wendy, the new clock rule's in effect. Some people early on were like, this is not going to be a big deal. Wendy, this is a huge deal. This is a huge deal. The clock rule will affect football games this year.
Yep.
If you can run the ball and pick up first downs in college football and you can get a little bit of a lead, Wendy, you're going to have a chance to win some games. Some big teams are going to get knocked off because of it.
Yes.
But I want to hit on that rule one quick time because there was Chip Kelly, Lane Kiffin's upset about the rule.
Yep.
So let's make sure, let's peel this onion back a little bit and make sure I'm thinking about this right. Well, the point is to get these games in a little bit quicker, stop dragging them out. Well, what these coaches are upset is it seems like there's more commercials. Well, Wendy, all this conference realignment, what is the conference realignment about? The conference realignment is about money. So all these TV contracts, everybody wants to make $100 million a year. So these teams are switching all over these places because of money. Well, guess what TV has to do to make more money? Run more commercials, people. That's what it is. So don't complain about the commercials. They're the reason you're making $600 million a year or whatever they're making a year. For the fan, terrible. I hate the commercials. Terrible. They need to figure something out. Run longer commercials or charge people more for the daggone things.
Right.
Be like, we're going to run 5 commercials. It was $300,000 last year. It's going to be $400,000 this year, and make them pay more. I mean,
they're going to pay it.
Yeah, they're going to pay it. So, Wendy, the college rule's something to look at. Wendy, let's run this thing down because we're getting off here. Wendy, I got 5 questions for you.
Okay.
And I don't really know how this is going to go, but we came up with it. Me and Destiny, we came up with something, trying to get something going on this pod. We're just going to go down 5 quick questions. We're going to try to get this done in a minute. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Wendy, do you want the Coke bottle versus the crystal ball? Nick Saban.
Going with the Coke bottle.
Nick Saban gets upset about somebody asking about a player's performance in the future. Nick Saban refers back to the Coke bottle. Epic rant. Wendy, when you go to the store, do you get your receipts printed or do you get your receipts emailed to you?
Well, I like them printed, but I also like them emailed. So I'm that customer that asks for both printed and emailed.
Printed and emailed. Wendy, do you like flip-flops, traditional flip-flops, or slides? You can only pick one. Flip-flops or slides?
Flip-flops.
See, I think slides are the way to go. Slides are so versatile. You can wear socks with them. You can slide them on. I don't know. Slides are pretty cool footwear there. This is kind of a crazy question, Wendy. Does Hugh Freeze need to wear an undershirt? Wendy, I saw him get interviewed.
It was so bad that I couldn't hardly focus on anything else. Hugh Freeze, I know that you're not listening, but if a family member, somebody that knows you pretty well, anything, put on an undershirt, dude. Like, it's so off-putting. It's so off-putting.
Yeah, and we're good with the relaxed lifestyle, man. But when I can see chest hair and other stuff through the shirt, do the undershirt. Do the favorite undershirt. Wendy, last question: who had the worst loss, Florida or LSU?
LSU.
LSU had the worst loss.
I think LSU did because I think for me, Trey, I think Utah's actually a good team. I think LSU had the worst loss. I don't think they could afford to lose to Florida State. Yeah. I don't think they could afford to lose to Florida State.
All right, Wendy, we're wrapping this thing up. We're going to be back later in the week. I love you. Let me get back to work, and I will talk to you later. Have fun out there.
Love you. Roll Tide.
Hey, Roll Tide. Alabama, Texas coming up, Wendy.
7 o'clock.
I'm serious. This is a big game. We'll talk about it on Friday. I love you.
All right. Love you. Roll Tide.
All right. Roll Tide. Bye.